And welcome back to Intermediate Coding in Minecraft with your favorite coding and computer science teacher, Mr. Pitts. So this is the Lesson 3 Assessment Supplemental. If you're watching this video, that means you already did it. You already turned it in, right? You already got the answer, and you're just double checking to make sure. So let's go back to the board, double check and review what the problem is. What's the challenge assessment for lesson 3? Remember, lesson 3 is logic, and so we're going to use logic, obviously, to answer the test. So using make code, you can create code, which responds to the chat command destroy grass. The code should have the agent walk down the center of the two sets of blocks and destroy only the grass blocks and not the cobblestone blocks. Again, if you missed the last episode, go back and check that out. There is an issue with content ID for grass blocks, or there was, and so I'm just going to assume that there still is. Maybe when you're watching this, that has been resolved, but as of right now, it is not tracking the destruction and creation of grass blocks the way that it should. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the opposite of that. We're not going to destroy grass. We're going to destroy the cobblestone. We like grass. We want to touch grass. We want to be on the grass. So we're going to leave the grass here. So the problem again is going to get the agent to come down the middle of this aisle, right? Walk down the center of the two sets of blocks, down the middle of the aisle, check the block. If it is not grass, or if it is cobblestone, we're going to break it. If this one's cobblestone, we're going to break it. Then we're going to move forward. If cobblestone break, move forward. If cobblestone break, move forward. So that's what we want to code. We want the agent to move forward, then begin using logic to check, and then break the appropriate blocks. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So again, we're going to walk in, hit C to open up the code builder. I have Pitt's lesson 3 assessment saved. If you don't, then you hit new project and create that. Okay, so first step is to get the agent into the place where they're going to begin checking the blocks. So step 1 in the algorithm is just going to be to move the agent into the right place. So I just recommend, since the agent begins here, whenever we do reset area, to just move forward 1, 2, 3, then have the agent turn right and move forward 1, 2 more. And that will bring him into the place where we want him to start checking blocks. So let's do that first. So on chat command, it was supposed to be named destroy grass. Let's keep it that, even though we're doing the opposite. Go figure. All right, so we're going to do agent move forward. We said by 3. Then we're going to do an agent move forward by 2. But in the middle, we want the agent to turn right. So again, like I said in the last assessment, whenever you're adding code, add a little bit, test it out. Make sure it works properly. So I'm just going to test this beginning step 1 of the algorithm. Destroy grass. Does he move into the right spot? Yes. That is exactly where we want him to be, is in that spot there. Okay. Next up, let me reset the area. Go ahead and get him back to where we start. All right, so step 2. Once he's here, we want him to check the block to the left. And if, that's a big word in computer science, if you recall, if this block is cobblestone, then break it. Check the block to the right. If this block is cobblestone, then break it. So let's do that part first. So we got him in the right spot. Where do we find the if? Well, that's logic, right? So if, now we have to be detectives. So how do we check the block to the left? Well, first and foremost, we know that we're going to be using a comparison. Anytime we're using an if, we're also going to be using a comparison. So we're checking to see if that block is equal to cobblestone. So first, let's go over here and let's find this one, which is just the block. Make sure it links up right there. And then we're going to change that to cobblestone. Now we're going to go back to the agent drawer. Now we used a block that was agent detect block during the lesson. And if you recall, and if you look at the shape, it's the diamond shape. So this returns a true false. But then above it there is an agent inspect block. And that block is not a true false shape. It's a round shape. And what this block is going to return is the content ID for whatever block the agent inspected. So we want the agent to inspect the block. There's no block in front of him, but we want the agent to inspect the block to his left. If that is cobblestone, then what? Agent destroy left. Then we're basically going to do the same thing to the right. If the agent inspects the block to the right, and that block is equal to cobblestone, this will be true. And then we'll run this code, which is agent destroy right. So what we have here for step 2 is if the agent inspects the block to the left, and that content ID is equal to the content ID of a cobblestone block. So in other words, if the block to the left of the agent is equal to cobblestone, then we will run this code where it destroys to the left. If it is not, this will return false, and we won't run this code. We'll skip down to the next line of code. Same thing. We'll inspect the block to the right. If that block is equal to cobblestone, in other words, if that block is cobblestone, then we will destroy it. If not, we will move on to the next block. Okay. So let's go ahead and test that and see what happens. So again, we would expect when we run destroy grass for him to get here where he did last time. Then he's going to run the check. Is this block cobblestone? Well, yes, it is. Then we would expect him to break that. Then he's going to run this check. Is this block cobblestone? No, it is not. So we would expect him to not break it. Let's give that a shot. Okay, destroy the cobblestone, but not the grass. Let's reset him. Now from here, what do we want to have happen? Well, the next step should be to what? Move forward by 1, and then do it over again. How many times do we want him to do it? Well, we want him to repeat it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So let's fix that. Again, remember, you have to make him move forward by 1. Where's that at? Move forward by 1. Because otherwise he just stays in the same spot, checking the blocks over and over again. So once he runs the check to the left, and then runs the check to the right, takes a step forward, now we want to repeat that thing. So we're going to put all that inside the repeat, and it's already set to 4 anyway. So on command, destroy grass. Let's give this a try. Perfect. Now, one of the answers that I get, or a very common answer that I get, is to not use logic. I get students who sometimes think, oh, it's very simple to have him move forward, break left and right, move forward, break right, to just hard code that in. The thing is, this code should work no matter which blocks are grass and which blocks are cobblestone. If I came in here and changed the order, the code should still work, right? So it doesn't matter which blocks are cobblestone or grass, because it's going to check and only destroy if it's true that the block is cobblestone. Okay. Again, once they fix the content ID for grass blocks, you can just change this back to grass, and it'll work the way that the original creators intended it to. But for now, just go ahead and do destroy grass, but actually destroy the cobblestone and leave the grass alone. So once you've done that, you can step back, take your screenshot of the code, or if you're using coding credentials for grading, you can upload it to your portal for the auto grader to take a peek at there. So once you've done that, that is the lesson 3 assessment. So congratulations. We're going to hit completed and move on to lesson 4. And you got to come back to find out what we're talking about in lesson 4. But look, they're over there waiting for us. So congratulations on getting through lesson 3 in intermediate coding. It's been fun. This is a really helpful lesson because logic is incredibly important in computer science. So please make sure you got this concept before we move on to the next one. So thanks again for watching the video. Throw a comment down there if this has been helpful for you. Say, yeah, this is great. We appreciate you. So thanks again. This has been your favorite computer science and coding teacher, Mr. Pitts, and we'll see you in the next video.